Hello again, everyone. I'm just taking it all in, enjoying the sun. It's lovely. It's only just over 25 degrees here, but I tell you, it's roasting. Just the perfect temperature. September's a good time, to get a bit of winter sun. Oh, we're in October now, aren't I forgot. As I came here at the end of September. So, no, that's the way to do it. Winter sun, recharge. Definitely need to recharge with what's going on at Man United. Oh, you saw me last video. I thought I'd do a little kind of video carried on from that. There isn't really to be honest, it's not a lot for me to say about the whole situation. I think I've said it all. We're only, it's just like when I listen to Spaces. No, it's good. It just keeps me going, and it's all we've got really, because we don't get anything from the club. We just have to listen to each other, and when I hear us, it's good because I think that we might have different opinions or a different way of getting there, but we want Man United to be great again and just decent. So, but we've all got our different ways of getting there. But it's just we're in very uncharted territories, and I feel like the fan base obviously it's very divided. You've got the kind of match going fans, and you've got the obviously Ineos and the PR what they put out and things, and you just I think most fans are really logically most fans know it is over for this guy. Most fans, I do think that. And obviously Old Trafford will be packed week in week out. I can't see it not being. But I do wonder, if they'll lose their viewing figures, because for me, I think that I can't imagine many fans will be watching the games. I mean, I'm definitely not going to be watching any more games. I was giving it I was kind of hanging on, but I kind of knew it was over. For me, I think I kind of knew when he lost the final and finished 15th. But then when obviously Grimsby, I think that was the Grimsby game, and I'd kind of given up by the time Fulham, but the Grimsby game was a big red flag and indicate that it was over. I think we were clinging on to things. Look, we'll give them another little chance after Chelsea, but I didn't get carried away. Everyone was going about the Chelsea game, but the Chelsea game, I couldn't take a lot from the Chelsea game, because look, rightly or wrongly, they were down to 10 men, 5 minutes. Fair enough, we did well to get that, and then we, obviously you'd expect us to go on and win it. Most people would, but even that, when Chelsea were down to 10 men, we make hard work of everything. Everything's hard work, and I just think that's when you should go at Chelsea and kill it off. But we were like, I don't know, just being very defensive. Then obviously Casemiro gets sent off, so it's 10-0. And even when it was, they obviously pulled it back to 2-1. So we were still, we were still clear. It wasn't convincing, that Chelsea game. You couldn't take a lot from it. You really couldn't, because at the end of the day, it was 10 men, and but we did it. We won it, and I thought, well, look, they won it. I can't, I'll take the 3 points. That's fair enough. So I'll give him the Brentford game. And lo and behold, and I did, I thought maybe, because this Brentford team wasn't a very strong Brentford team. It's probably the weakest Brentford team. But what's alarming is it's bloody, the set-piece coach just took over from Brentford, because obviously Thomas Frank's gone to Spurs. What's that about? You're getting that done by a set-piece coach who's took over the club? That's crazy. But I think Brentford have a good squad, and they have a good system and how they get their players in. A bit like Brighton, very similar, these teams, Brentford, Brighton. They don't have the most resources, but they've got the best structure and setup, and they know where to get the players from. They get them cheap, and they, like a conveyor belt, they churn them out, don't they? We could definitely do with taking a leaf out of there. But we used to do what Brentford and Brighton used to do under Alex Ferguson. We used to get players in cheap, and they were called little gems, your Caicedos, your Balabas and whatnot, and then obviously become very good players. There isn't a lot to say. And obviously the Brentford game, we saw what happened there, and there's nowhere to go, and they've got no interest in the Sunderland game. Okay, we win it, fair enough, but it doesn't really matter for me. If he is going to stay, then he's got to go on I'm not being funny, a 15-game unbeaten run. Doesn't mean we have to win every game. You just don't lose. You've got to do something very drastic, play great, play really well, and do really well. But you look, at the end of the day, he's just out of his depth, and the system doesn't work as we know it. Kind of what I said before. I'm just going into more detail about the system, and the team selections is another thing. Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire and De Ligt, a back three against bloody physical, fast Brentford. I mean, and I don't know what's going on, but since Bruno came out, I'm not going to stir it, but since Bruno came out and said that thing about Euro, there's something weird going on at that club. I don't know if there is something weird. This is why I look at Bruno in a different light. And I don't want to criticise him. He has been one of our great best players in the last, whatever years, 5 to 6 years. But I think it was a big mistake making him captain. I think Bruno's a 10, play him as a 10. I think everyone gets emotional, but he loses his head too much. And there's not many leaders, so that's why I think Bruno has got it, because he's the biggest personality probably. But I just don't think him as a captain. And Bruno will probably be, by the end of this season, be gone anyway. I think Amram will be gone. I don't think he's going to stay. I'd be very, very shocked if he stays. I think if he stays, we're going to get relegated. Let's be honest. Which I'm not being funny. I would. The way Man United are with Ineos, I know it's a bad thing to say, and some fans might say, "Oh, how can you say that?" I would take relegation. I'm not being melodramatic. I would take being relegated. But for me, that is the only way you get a whole reset. You've got a good chance of getting rid of the owners, but also you'd get rid of all these players would be gone. You'd clear out all the players. They'd be gone straight away. They wouldn't play in the Championship. Clear out a lot. Maybe that's bad. I don't know, but. What, it's that, or ending up mid-table, not really going anywhere. The owners not really investing properly in the squad like they should do. I look at what Chelsea are doing, I look at other teams, their structures are much better. We haggle and take too long getting players. I think Cunha and Burmo were quite easy deals because they wanted to come to us. They were United fans, so they were quite easy. Obviously Sesko as well, fair play. But I still think that, except for Cunha, the other two dragged out for too long. Well, mainly the Mbermo, that was a weird one. Dragged it on for too long. But we should have got... It's a crime that we didn't get a midfield. Absolute crime. I cannot believe we didn't get a midfield at all. That is absolutely ridiculous, Absolutely. I don't know. We're all waiting for something to happen, aren't we? But we're just going to spend our life sitting on spaces talking about the same old shite, because there ain't much more to do, But... I'm not even joking or lying. I won't watch another game. I'll check the results after when we play, but I'm not interested. I've got no interest while Amram's here. I'm only going to see the same old rubbish. It's not even about him, like I said. It's all on Ineos. They are the ones. I think if Amram goes, Omar Barada should go with him. Or, for me, I would, if you don't want to get rid of Omar Barada, move him off to the commercial side. Say that's your job. You're not in charge of football decisions. Your job is to go off, get us as much money as you can. Go and do what you're good at. You're commercialing. Go and do that. Jason Wilcox, to be fair to him, I do think he is a good football person to have, but he's got too much responsibility. This is what I mean. You've got rookies running the club. For me, he should go and, I don't know, help spot talent. A bit like Varel, have a little back seat. I'd even say Varel's probably a bit more qualified than he is, but we need to get some proper top quality people in. I feel at this point in time I would get an interim manager in. I wouldn't go to, people are on about Glasner. Maybe you could take a chance and go and get a Prem manager like Glasner or somebody. You might have to do that, but if you do that, you've got to go at the risk, maybe a very short-term contract. Or you give them the job and say, look, you've got till the end of the season, let's see what you can do. So you don't have to pay them out too much. I think we need to not, unless it's a top calibre manager, like a Javi, and even, I know that's a bit of risk, but I'd take a Javi or somebody, Enrique, somebody top quality. You've got to pay good money and get them out. Or you wait till the end of the season, because it's very difficult to get top managers now the season's started. But honestly, I would get a Michael Carrick in, someone who knows the club, as an intern manager. Say, look, you're an intern, but if you do well, just see how it goes. You're in with the mix, but still interview other managers. Don't just I think Michael Carrick is the best bet. He knows the club, he gets it. He would know how to handle the pressure. He knows how to win. He wasn't afraid to drop Bruno at that time. And I'm not a Bruno hater or anything like that. I haven't got anything against Bruno. But sometimes I see Pep... I don't know, we're so precious about dropping players. I see Pep Guardiola dropping De Bruyne all the time and dropping top I saw Ferguson used to take, it's ridiculous. Why are you crying? It is about winning. This is what I mean. We've got a very loser player FC, even manager FC now. We've got a very loser mentality. And that never used to be under, that's what I'm not used to, this loser mentality. That needs to be nipped in the bin straight away. That needs to go with many other things. I think Ineos have got a loser mentality as well. Definitely not ambitious, that's for sure. But, yeah, I would go and get... At this stage, you've got nothing to lose. It isn't going to get better. It's only going to get worse. If you get someone like Michael Carrigan, he will steady the ship. He'll play to the players' strengths. He'll get us results. He'll get some confidence back in the team, bit of pride. Knows the club, bit of pride. Just get someone to steady the ship. I wouldn't go out and get someone unless you can get someone. Maybe if you can go and get a Javi, or if you want to take that risk. I personally think you're better off getting an intern, because I would prefer to get a proper manager at the end in at the start of next season, because they've got the pre-season, they've got time. I don't know. I feel like if you bring they're going to struggle. That's why I just get an intern. I just want to watch us play some nice football, win some games, and climb up the table, get into the European spots. You never know, we might even do something in the FA Cup, but just to have a bit of balance and normality and a bit of steadiness. None of this like just sinking further and further into the abyss. It's not a lot to ask, really. So that's what I would do. But I think if he isn't sacked obviously by this after Sunderland, whatever the result, doesn't matter, win, lose, doesn't matter now. Whatever the result, if he's not sacked by this international break and they're holding out for November, that is because of some bloody money, which is a joke. We've got money, it's a load of rubbish. They make out with Paul, it's crap. Any fans that believe all this rubbish, you need help. Seriously, look at what we make, it's a load of rubbish. It's all because of the stadium and PR rubbish. Yeah, great, get a new stadium, but first sort the team out. It's the product. You need to make the product good. You can't sell a shit product. You've got to think of the future generations. Like when I was a kid, Man United were great. I was about, give me age away here, I was about 12 in 94, and that's when I started getting into Man United. Obviously, my dad got me into Man United. That's how most of my family support them. But he saw the hard times. He saw 70s, 80s when it was all Liverpool. But he said even then, okay, United were not winning leagues. They were struggling, but they were getting cups. They had pride, passion. They were a good. There was problems at the club like now, but there was a desire to be the best. There was a desire, and they were trying. And they, all this give managers time. The amount of managers are sacked before Fergie. I mean, it's ridiculous. We've got to get out of the Fergie syndrome. This modern day, managers get about 2 seasons, maybe less. You have to keep sacking. I think I do think we need to get a bit better squad. But you've got to get managers that fit your squad. That are not going to be stubborn. This guy is so stubborn. It's absolutely ridiculous. And you can't come in here being all arrogant into Man United. So you've got to, he should have probably took Rudd with him and helped him transition into the Prem. And he's got bloody managers younger than him in their 30s. This is the problem. We've got lots of... so even the coaching staff, they're very young. Like, he's about 40. I'm a bloody older than Amra. I'm 43. Which is hilarious. But yeah, so it's... We've got a lot of amateurs, not much experience. They do look like headless chickens. It's absolutely ridiculous. I think us fans could do a better job. Honestly, I'm not even joking. I really believe it. We know more about our club than they do, and that's what's worrying. That shouldn't. Me as a fan, I want to watch the football and enjoy it, and us do well. I don't be sit there thinking about finances, sit there thinking I know more than these guys. No, you guys have paid the big dollars. Right, you guys have paid the big dollars. You should fucking know what you're doing. Stop behaving like you're running the biggest bloody club in the world. Like, what the hell are you doing? Smaller clubs are run better. You need to get a grip. So look, like I said, I think if they wait for November, it's done. I'm holding out, like, seeing what happens this international if they do something. But really, it's just done. I'm not watching any more games till he's here. If he goes, then I'll probably... start watching again. But I do feel they're just messing about now, taking a piss. Anyway, let's see what happens. Ciao.